ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Isn't that the hot new baseball show with Matt Brown and Steven Garcia?
Yes, they cover the Cubs and Sox, scores, updates, and up-to-the-minute news around Major League Baseball and more.
Covering the bases this Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and Facebook Live.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Next time on the Backskate Hawks, things just continue to go downhill for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Are you kidding me?
What do they need to do to turn it around here in December?
Is that goal regulation time or what?
Miles and miles of heart.
What are the chances they'll make the playoffs?
Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Find out about that and much more on the Backskate Hawks with James Six III, Tuesdays from 11 to noon on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
You're listening to ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. It's not just sports, it's a way of life.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 11 o'clock, I'm Jim Six III with your Chicagoland Sports Radio Update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on a career in broadcasting, go to beonair.com. Things just keep getting worse for the Blackhawks. Corey Crawford was placed on injured reserve yesterday, and the Blackhawks have then called up Colin Delia as a emergency goalie, per se. They play tonight against the Nashville Predators. Unlikely who gets to start. My money says it's Cam Ward. News out of Carolina is that Cam Newton is apparently frustrated by shoulder issues, saying he's done and tried everything. They lost last night to the number one seed New Orleans Saints, 12-9. Last night in the Bulls loss to the Thunder, there were 4 technical fouls issued as things got heated. Chris Dunn pushed Russ. Jermaine Grant intervened, and Robin Lopez was heated. The Bulls lost 121-96. And in other news, Steve Kerr came out and said it's going to be a long time for DeMarcus Cousins' return. He was rehabbing his left Achilles injury, which apparently is major, and he doesn't seem to be returning anytime soon. This update is also brought to you by IIT Men's Basketball. The next home game broadcast will be December 29th against the Wheaton Thunder at 7 p.m. For tickets, visit IllinoisTechAthletics.com. I'm James Six III, and you're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life. That's right. It is Tuesday. It is 11 o'clock, and it is time for the Backskate Hawks. As always, I'm James Six III. We got a lot to talk about today, but before we do that, follow me on Twitter at JDHicks88. You can even like our show Twitter page while you're there, at Backskate Hawks. It has like 5 followers, but someday we'll we'll get into promoting that at least. As you know, I've probably mentioned it by now like 100 times that I am a hockey writer. Wrote a really interesting article, I feel, that I did on Puck 77. So you can go there too. It's puck77.com. You can even follow them on Twitter too. And it's basically at the Puck 77. So first, before we get into everything, I'd like to wish my mom a very happy birthday. It's always nice when you get to go do stuff with your mom. She and I are going to the Hawks game tonight. So hopefully, I don't know, the Blackhawks actually decide to come out and have a little fight per se. For those of you who may have been living under a rock the last couple of days, Corey Crawford has suffered yet another concussion. This comes after the game on Sunday. Head coach Jeremy Collin comes out and says, he's in concussion protocol. We'll let you know what's going on. Listen, let's not kid ourselves here. Corey Crawford missed 10 months with his last one, and it's tough to see a guy who's worked that hard, sort of come back in, get himself back to where he needs to be, and then to just have this happen. And I'm sorry, Barry Melrose got it wrong on the NHL Network yesterday, saying that it was a hockey play. Listen, Barry, I love you as a hockey guru, or whatever they want to call you these days. Well, let's be honest. All right. So the play develops. Evander Kane pushes Dylan Strome into Logan Couture, who then basically Dylan Strome barrels into Crawford. Crawford hits his head on the goalpost. Let's be honest here. I don't want to go to a dark place until I have to. All right. I'm really trying not to do that right now. But Corey Crawford has had numerous concussions in the past. He's got a 1-year-old. He's got a family. He's got 2 Stanley Cups. What more does this guy have to prove? And, if he can't come back from this, I feel like no one should be heartbroken. Corey Crawford's had a great career, finally getting his shot with the Blackhawks. He's had one real rocky year, I feel like, especially like in the playoffs. I think that was 2012 when the Blackhawks played Arizona. But, this is a guy who I feel like you're seeing some heart and soul pieces, sort of disappearing. You saw what happened to the Blackhawks last year when they didn't have Marian Hossa. Then Corey Crawford goes down. You finish well out of the playoffs. And it seems like that is going to happen again this year. Again, they could very well go on a run. Do I see it happening? No, absolutely not. I hate to be the realist right now, but everybody wants to talk about Colin Delia and how great he is. Believe me, I love Colin Delia. I think the guy is fantastic. He's a fantastic goalie. But when you think about goalies in ways, it's interesting. They were talking about how the Flyers just called up Connor Hart last night or yesterday. And it's all going to matter of what type of team you put in front of him. So you could be the best goalie in the world, but then if, your goalie can only do so much. If your defense doesn't come to play, or, the rest of the team just is off one night and you get peppered with 40 to 50 shots, it's really going to be one of those things that it's just not going to look pretty. I hate to say that. And I wish Colin Delia all the best in his stint with the Blackhawks. Most importantly, I think people would be better suited to think of Corey Crawford's health first rather than trying to see him push hard to get back on the ice just to hurt himself again. I don't see the point in it. They've been making, I want to be careful on how I say this. It's not that they've been making like an overly huge deal about concussions, but there have been people who are trying to bring light to this situation and just the concussion situation. Guys like Daniel Carcillo, who I admire for what he's trying to do to bring I guess you could say, awareness to brain injury issues. So good on him for that. But basically, Godspeed, Corey Crawford. Godspeed. I hope you feel better soon, because it's just it's hard to watch your favorite guys get hurt, and you just hope nothing but the best for them. All right, getting into some other interesting Blackhawks news. They brought up Dylan Sakura. Finally, they brought up Carl Dahlstrom, who, I'll be honest with you, I really wasn't too hip on at first, but the dude's growing on me. And you look at how they've done to start the season here, or to start their season here in Chicago. Their stint, I shouldn't call it their season. Season's 2 months old. Let's be honest. I can't fathom, what it must be like, the expectations that, and I'll throw this out there the way it is. I'll tell it like it is. Blackhawks Twitter is ridiculous. Blackhawks Twitter is about as bad as Cubs Twitter when it comes to some of these things. I look at back when Joe Quenneville got fired, and everybody was just magically, thinking that everything was going to be better. No, you still have, let's be honest, a mediocre defense at best. I wouldn't even call it mediocre. I would call them below average at this point. So you're listening to the Bag Skate Hawks, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. I just realized I can only hear on one of my earphones. This is not good. I don't know. Hopefully there's some deals. I can go get a new pair of Beats. I don't know. I've had these things for, a couple of years now, so whatever. But no, I just, I look at the way some of these people act, and it's like, you know what? Does anybody not remember the late 90s and early 2000s? I mean, give me a break. You make it seem like the sky's falling with what you're reading half the time. And it's like, come on. I hate to be this guy, but I feel like some of these people would honestly trade 3 Stanley Cups away to be having a good season. And, I responded to a tweet last night, and I said, you know what? The Blackhawks may not be good this year. Heck, they may not even be good next year. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, if they were to really do this right, you do a little bit. I mean, let's do a full-scale rebuild if the Blackhawks are going to choose to go that route. Let's just tear it down. You pick a core group of guys. Obviously, you're going to have Kane and Taves in there. And then let's actually just do it. Let's not mess around with this. And everybody's like, oh, well, I don't want to see him suck. And it's like, they already are. I mean, there are some good players on this team, don't get me wrong, but this team is not 1 or 2 players away from contending from anything. This is where it's going to be really interesting to see next year. You have guys who you drafted in recent years. I think of Adam Boquist for starters, on who is potentially going to be NHL ready next year. And there's no telling whether he's even going to be NHL ready. And, all this talk about Jack Hughes, I'll be honest with you. I really hope if the Blackhawks do end up drafting him because they're, finished terribly, then okay. I'm not going to beef with it. I'm going to be happy, with it. But I hope they realize that, yeah, he's a good hockey player, but I wouldn't have the expectations, I guess, that some people do. Because let's be honest, it's ridiculous with some of these people. I mean, come on. You can't honestly tell me that you thought the Blackhawks were going to compete for a Stanley Cup this season. We can all hold out hope that it might get better. But I'm not even really, I don't think it's going to go that way. I think you're going to see a lot of the same. I think now you're going to see the Hawks struggle more than ever because, I mean, let's be honest, Cam Ward can only do so much. Colin Nelia can only do so much. I hope it's not what it was last year. And I really hope if they decide to go with Delia and Ward. Stick with them. All right. Enough of this. Hey, let's call other guys up. Let Forsberg have a shot in Rockford. Get him developed. I don't really think he has NHL caliber numbers to begin with, which I put that in my article, which is on my Twitter page, for the record. You guys should check it out. When we come back, we're going to Happier Thoughts. We're going to Club Dub. Talk some Bears. Hear about that and much more here coming up. Backskate Hawk, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
On September 8th, it's on in Dallas. Tyron Woodley defends the UFC welterweight title against Darren Till at UFC 228. Will the Brit come out victorious and bring the title back to Liverpool? Or will the chosen one retain his title in only his fourth title defense in 2 years? Also featuring UFC Women's Flyweight Champion Nico Montano defending her title for the first time against Bullet Valentina Shevchenko. Join us at Green Street Local for the official UFC 228 Fight Day Report remote podcast.
Say it what now?
Last time on the K-Trade Show.
What do you think was on JR's mind? And he knew what the question meant.
Oh, yeah.
He knew what the question meant. I can read his mind. You sitting up there with Charlie Brown's shorts on and a suit.
Listen to Kevin Trigoni and my new partner.
Is heavyweight champion of the world. You know who I am is Robert Reflex.
On the K-Trade Show every Monday night from 7 to 9, only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Next time on the Backskate Hawks. Things just continue to go downhill for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Are you kidding me?
What do they need to do to turn it around here in December?
Is that goal regulation time or what?
Miles and miles of heart.
What are the chances they'll make the playoffs?
Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Find out about that and much more on the Backskate Hawks with James Six III. Tuesdays from 11 to noon on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
I got started at IMS here as an instructor a couple years back after I heard a couple of people I worked with were also instructors here. I'm always here if you need help with developing what you're passionate about. And that's what most people come here for. They have a passion. They want to do something. They want to do radio play-by-play. They want to do sports talk. They want to do updates, whatever it may be. My name is Freddie Hubner. I work at ESPN 1000 as a host and sports anchor, and I am IMS.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Tom Waddle, ESPN 1000.
Don't waste another minute in a career you don't love. You can be the next great announcer, DJ, producer, or TV reporter. You'll learn key skills from industry pros while working with professional equipment on air and behind the scenes. Still need to keep the 9-to-5 job? Their flexible class schedules can work around any schedule. Short on cash? They have very affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. You'll have access to amazing internships and job placement assistance when you graduate at top radio and TV stations like ESPN. Learn more at beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, this is the countdown to Super Showdown. The Rising Feminist Wrestling Show is here covering New Japan, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, and WWE, especially with Evolution and Super Showdown right around the corner. It is all about the truth when it comes to promos, wrestling, and the wrestlers even when they botch. The Rising Feminist Wrestling Show is not about the highlights. It is about the facts when it comes to professional wrestling. So come join me, Stephanie, aka The Hottest Wrestling Wrestling, every Friday from 12 to 2 on Chicago Sports Radio.
John Lennon would like to report. October 6th, Conor McGregor returns to fight undefeated phenom Khabib Nurmagomedov in Vegas. Will Conor reclaim the lightweight title with a savage knockout, or will Khabib take apart the former champion on the ground and break his will? For all updates on this, predictions for every UFC, Bellator, PFL, LFA, and Invicta FC, plus the most coverage of regional MMA than anywhere else. Listen live Tuesday at 12 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
The king is back.
John Lennon would like to report. November 3rd, the UFC heavyweight title is on the line when champion Daniel DC Cormier defends against Derek Lewis, who is coming off a huge knockout at UFC 229 this month. This is as personal as a fight as just ask the Black Team Squad.
He disrespected that Popeye's chicken on the commercial.
For everything leading up to this fight, check out the most active tech hour on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. The Fight Report Tuesday at 12 p.m.
He said it.
Welcome back to the Bag Skate Hawks. Let's go ahead and talk some Bears. I can tell you, I was very excited after Sunday's win against Green Bay. Like you would not believe. Maybe it's because I have a lot of friends who are Packers fans. Don't ask me why. My sister's a Packers fan. The neighbor down the street's a Packers fan. I mean, it's all right. But the Bears finally broke a streak of 8 straight years losing at Soldier Field. So maybe it's the sign of good things to come. Listen, I was watching the game. I felt like Matt Nagy at times gets into a rhythm where the trick plays just come out of nowhere. For good, for better or worse, I will say, it's one of those things that sometimes you just got to take a step back and simplify things a little bit. But let's be honest, the how dynamic the Bears offense is, it's fantastic. And then you got Mitch Trubisky, who everybody wanted to jump on after last week, or not after last week, after 2 weeks ago, rather, and him losing or not having a good game, rather, against the New York Giants. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That was last week that they played the Rams. Okay, I'm sorry. My fault. I'm getting myself a little bit confused here, so just forgive me. Bear with me on that. But you look at the Week 15 stat line of the Bears versus Green Bay. They did win 24-17. Trubisky, 20 of 28 for 235, including a pair of touchdowns. Quarterback rating of 120. That's amazing. And, when you consider the struggles that he had after missing a couple weeks, it's one of those things. It's amazing to see. And it's also nice to see the Bears having a little bit more momentum. Go to the rushing stats. Jordan Howard, 19 for 60, an average of 3.2 yards a carry. Had a touchdown, fumbles at least, so that's always good. Let's go ahead and let's just look at the stats overall from the game. I mean, to be honest, how good was that Bears defense? I don't know. You tell me. Aaron Rodgers was 25 of 42 for 274. No touchdowns. A pick. Was sacked 5 times. Had 3 rushes for 25 yards. But let's be honest. All right. I know everybody saw that nice Khalil Mack back sack, basically, that he got. In this day and age with, the ridiculous so-called, and I didn't even realize this music was still playing. That's my fault. You think about all the what he's brought to the table for Khalil Mack, what Khalil Mack has brought to the table, rather. And then you think about, to start the season, all the ridiculous roughing the passer penalties. I feel like Khalil Mack has been one of those guys who can really adapt, I guess, to the rule per se. All his hits have been clean. Same with Akeem Hicks. I mean, those are 2 guys. We'll even throw Eddie Goldman in there for, the defensive front per se. Those have been 3 guys who I feel like have been extremely dynamic and have been able to get to the quarterback time in and time out. You look at the rushing stats. All right, Jamal Williams, 12 of 55, average of 4.6 yards a carry. He did get a touchdown, but I think the Bears will take giving up a touchdown, to a rushing, giving up a rushing touchdown rather than letting Aaron Rodgers throw on them all day. It's amazing. Aaron Jones also had 4 rushes for 8 yards. Like we just mentioned, Aaron Rodgers 3 for 25. All right, I got to be that guy for a second. Can we please absolutely stop talking about Aaron Rodgers? Okay? I don't care that he's supposedly not 100%. I don't care that he still has that stupid Bose noise canceling headphone commercials. I don't care that the fake agent commercials. I don't care. You know, I was talking with a friend of mine, and not exactly washed up, but I feel like Aaron Rodgers is at the tail end of his career. You can see it. You know, he's had problems staying healthy. He's not really as dynamic as even a couple years ago. You know, you looked at it that if you gave him, we'll just say for gigs here, for laps and gigs, of course, you give him a minute 30 on the clock, and you're thinking, oh no, that's too much time. Gets his team down the field, and he's able to take shots to the end zone from midfield. You know, with that potential of beating you. That's not the same this year. And you know what? Maybe I bought the he's hurt argument for like the first 6 weeks. But I'm sorry. I hate to say this. Aaron Rodgers choked last week. He choked. Absolutely no doubt in my mind, he choked. And those of you who want to disagree with me, go ahead, but tell me why he didn't. You know, you look at it this way: the Packers are in the red zone. Aaron Rodgers throws an interception, which really doesn't happen, but it was almost like it was the turning point of the game. You know, the Packers kick the field goal with 8 seconds left or whatever. They have a chance to get the onside kick, but let's be honest. You look at onside kicks, and those are just things that I think there's like, I want to say it's like a 15% chance of actually recovering an onside kick. So I don't know what you think about this, but you know, you look at the other Packer players in the lineup. Devontae Adams led all receivers for the Packers, 8 receptions for 119 yards. He's targeted 13 times. Randall Cobb, 3 for 30. Lance Kendricks, a tight end, was 4 for 27, and Jimmy Graham was 3 for 32. And you know, I have to laugh, but you know, everybody wants to talk about how Jimmy Graham was supposed to change the Packers, the face of the Packers. I'm sorry, I don't see it. But anyways, that's enough of the Packer talk. We're in Chicago. I'll just keep bashing on him if that's the case. Club dub, baby. It's fantastic to see the Bears have this type of success. You know, you look at before the season, before the Khalil Mack deal, before Matt Nagy became head coach, and you know, you're thinking, all right, looking at the schedule, everybody's saying 8-8. You're like, where could they possibly be 8-8? I was thinking much of along the lines of last year of maybe 5-11 or 6-10. But you know, you look at how this team has adapted. Mitchell Trubisky has absolutely grown as a quarterback, and not only that, but you know, you bring in a guy like Matt Nagy, who, I got to be honest with you, I watched his conservative play calling in the playoffs for Kansas City last year. I was not a fan. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a fan. But you know what? I feel like Matt Nagy has made us all believers. You know, I think you would say that's a pretty fair statement. You know, but he's sort of changed the minds of a lot of people, including myself. And then, of course, you know, it never helps to, you know, it definitely helps to have guys like Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Leonard Floyd, Roquan Smith, who I haven't even mentioned. And, you know, there's another guy. So you got your last 2 games of the season against San Francisco and against Minnesota. You have the division locked down, but where can the Bears, I guess you could say, where will the Bears finish up? I have a bold statement here because this is going to be the last show we do before the playoffs start. Programming reminder that the next 2 weeks are Christmas and New Year's. We may not do a show. Rather, I don't know yet. It all depends. All depends on what's going on. You know, maybe we'll move it to another day of the week. Who knows? All depends on how crazy and hectic work gets this next week. But real quickly, I mean, Frisco, with Eddie Jackson out, you know, he has that nagging shin injury. Now he's got an ankle sprain. If I'm the Bears, I'm most likely keeping Eddie Jackson out the rest of the year. Okay, 2 games, let him heal up, get him ready for the playoffs. Now, where will the Bears end up? I still have a think they have an outside shot at that number 1 seed. If not number 1, they might get number 2. Listen, there's been reports that the Rams have been broken by the Bears, and I kind of laugh because it's funny. I just you just kind of have to sit there and laugh a little bit because everybody wanted to tout how good the Rams were. But anyways, it's gonna be all the time we have for the Bears. When we come back, we're gonna be give you a little bit of insight on the NHL injury report here. You are listening to the Backskate Hawks, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Chicagoland Sports Radio Sports Update.
At 11:30, I'm James Six III with your Chicagoland Sports Radio Update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information on a career in broadcasting, go to BeOnAir.com. The Blackhawks have recalled Colin Delia from the Rockford Ice Hogs and placed Corey Crawford on injured reserve. The Hawks are at home to take on the Nashville Predators tonight. Goalies for this game have not been announced. Puck drop is at 7:30. The Philadelphia Flyers have dismissed head coach Dave Haxtell. The club announced Monday Scott Gordon will serve as interim bench boss. The Flyers have lost 4 games in a row, including a 5-1 defeat at the hands of the Vancouver Canucks on Saturday. Philadelphia currently holds the 3rd worst record in the NHL and sits in last place in the Metropolitan Division. After William Nylander's well-documented holdout to begin the season, he's experienced when it comes to contract negotiations, so much so I can't read today. The Toronto Maple Leafs winger is offering advice to fellow teammates and pending restricted free agents Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Just get it done before the season starts, Nylander said to TSN's Gino Rita when asked if he had any words of wisdom. That's probably one thing you'd want to get it out of the way. No word yet if Kyle Dubas is planning any talks as of right now with those 2 players. And last night in the NHL, we got some scores for you. The Columbus Blue Jackets beat the Vegas Golden Knights 1-0. They also won in an epic Connect 4 Twitter battle. Anaheim beat Pittsburgh 4-2. Boston beat Montreal 4-0. The Predators fell in overtime to the Ottawa Senators 4-3. Colorado lost to the New York Islanders 4-1. I thought there was going to be more than that. This update is also brought to you by IIT Men's Basketball. The next home game broadcast will be December 29th against the Wheaton Thunder at 7 p.m. For tickets, visit IllinoisTechAthletics.com. I'm James Six III, and you're listening to Chicagoland Sports Radio. It's not just sports, it's a way of life. Welcome back to the Backskate Hawks. Taking a look at the NHL injury report. We'll take the biggest names from certain teams here. Start with the Anaheim Ducks. Ricard Raquel is day-to-day with an ankle injury. Goalie Ryan Miller has a knee injury. He's out indefinitely. Still have a lot of injuries on that list. Antti Ranta for the Arizona Coyotes is out indefinitely with a lower body injury. Vinny Hinostroza has an ankle injury. He's out week to week. Let's see here. Dries Bergeron is still indefinitely out with the clavicle injury. Jake DeBrusk of the Bruins has a concussion. He's day-to-day. You look at the Buffalo Sabres, Nathan Bellio, whatever the heck his name is, sidelined upper body injury day-to-day. Calgary Flames, Sam Bennett, day-to-day with an upper body injury. Carolina Hurricanes, Curtis McElhinney, lower body, day-to-day. Obviously, it's the Crawford injury for the Blackhawks. Artemi Panarin's day-to-day with a lower body injury. How about that? Wasn't really, didn't think that was going to happen. For the Stars, Jason Spezza has an illness. He's day-to-day. For the LA Kings, Alec Martinez has a upper body injury. He's day-to-day. Philip Forsberg still on, returns indefinitely. Yeah, he's still on IR with an upper body injury. Corey Schneider just hurt the other night. He's got an abdomen injury. He's going to be day-to-day, although it doesn't look too pretty for the Devils from where I'm looking, but that's okay. All right, that's going to be all the time we have for this week's edition of the NHL Injury Report. When we come back, it's going to be time for Take Your Pick. Stay tuned, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Next time on the Backskate Hawks, things just continue to go downhill for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Are you kidding me?
What do they need to do to turn it around here in December?
Is that goal regulation size or what?
Miles and miles apart.
What are the chances they'll make the playoffs?
We'll talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Find out about that and much more on the Backskate Hawks with James Six III, Tuesdays from 11 to noon on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Hey, sports fans, Paulie C here, and this is a recap of what you missed last week on the Fans Corner. It's been literally the king of Eastern Conference for almost a decade, and
the
now
only reason to watch the Eastern Conference.
basically. Yeah. And now, if he goes over, we're assuming he's going to go over to the Western Conference, right, for the first time in his career.
And then at that point, do you realize what that does to the NBA? You put him in the West. You might as well just take the Eastern Conference and fold it.
So please join us on Friday afternoons from 2 to 4 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Time to kick off your career in radio or TV broadcasting at the Illinois Media School's downtown Chicago campus. Call us at 312-884-8000 or visit 530 South State Street to learn how you can make your dreams of being on television and radio a reality. Don't take my word for it. Check out what some industry professionals said about the Illinois Media School.
Jonathan Hood, ESPN 1000.
People often ask me, Hoodie, how can I be a sports radio guy like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. You can learn to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, and shoot and edit video. You'll have a chance to get internships at stations where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. With job placement assistance, you can start your new career in 1 year. It's a great school to get the hands-on training you need for a broadcasting career, doing what you love. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. So don't waste another minute. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. That's beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
It's a great time to be a sports fan in Chicago. The Bears have wrapped up OTAs. We're less than 2 weeks away from the NBA draft. And the Cubs and Sox are well into their seasons. On Second City Sports, we break down and analyze all the latest breaking news and notes from across the sports landscape. So join Jay Pfeiffer and Lakina McGee every Thursday from 12 to 2 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, where it's not just sports, it's a way of life.
So you want to be in broadcasting, but you don't know where to start? Illinois Media School is a great beginning. If you want to work in front of the camera or mic or behind the scenes, IMS will help you prepare for a career in broadcasting in just 8 months. And financial aid is available for those who qualify. So what are you waiting for? Call the Illinois Media School at 312-884-8000, 312-884-8000, or visit the website at beonair.com.
Nothing moves the blob.
At the end of the day, where do you expect the Cubs to be is the best question.
I expect to be in the World Series. I said this before the 20th start. You weren't here yet, but when I made my prediction for the Cubs, I expect to be in the World Series and lose to Yankees and six.
Give me a break. WORK. They got you if you believed into it. If you bought into it this long, they got you.
The Bob Show with Cedric Farrell and Elijah Richardson, Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
I'm not only on that bandwagon, I'm driving that bandwagon, and we're not stopping till we get to Cooperstown.
Hey, Steve, did you catch the score of the Cubs game last night?
No, actually, I didn't.
You need to tune in to Covering the Bases on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
Isn't that the hot new baseball show with Matt Brown and Steven Garcia?
Yes, they cover the Cubs and Sox, scores, updates, and up-to-the-minute news around Major League Baseball and more.
Covering the Bases this Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com and Facebook Live. I've been in the radio and broadcasting business a long time, more than 3 decades, and I thought, if I spread my knowledge and shared what I know about the business with a lot of young minds, maybe I could get some of those people involved. And my dad talked to schools, and I thought I could do that too, and I could do it all in one place at Illinois Media School. I've been having a great time. I tell everybody I'm learning as much from the students as they learn from me. I am Eddie Volkman, and I am IMS.
John Lennon would like to report. November 3rd, the UFC heavyweight title is on the line when champion Daniel DC Cormier defends against Derek Lewis, who is coming off a huge knockout at UFC 229 this month. This is as personal as a fight as just ask the Black Team Squad.
He disrespect that Popeye's chicken on the commercial.
For everything leading up to this fight, check out the Most Active Tech Hour on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. The Fight Leader for Tuesday at 12 p.m.
He said it.
Welcome back, Skate Hawks. I'm going to go ahead and take your pick right now. Let's go ahead. We'll start in the NHL today. I feel like that's just, we'll start switching it off a little bit. All right. It's Tuesday, December 18th. Look at today and tomorrow. Florida is in Buffalo. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to take Buffalo, though. Just don't feel like Florida's playing all that consistently. So why not? Toronto's in Jersey. Listen, with Jersey's goaltending situation, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know how they compete with Toronto, because I don't want to make it seem like Toronto is the best team in the world here. But it's going to take a lot more hard work for New Jersey to beat Toronto than Toronto to beat New Jersey. So give me Toronto. Anaheim is in Madison Square Garden to take on the Rangers tonight. It's going to be another good one. Probably Gibson versus Henrik Lundqvist. I really don't know. Anaheim's playing better of late. They 9 of their last 10 they've won. So it's, I think that's pretty interesting per se. Did anybody see that awesome Henrik Lundqvist save from the other day? I saw this on NHL Network. I tell you, it was fantastic. I loved every second of it. But I would seriously consider taking Anaheim in this one. Detroit's in Philly. It'll be the first game. Philly does not have Dave Haxtell. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to take the Red Wings, though. I don't know that Philly hasn't necessarily figured it out yet. So we'll have to wait and see. San Jose's in Minnesota. Devin Dubnyk better watch out. Tanner Kane might run one of their guys into their goalie and might get hurt. No. For what the Blackhawks did to Martin Jones, I don't know if Martin Jones is going to play tonight. I'm going to take Minnesota. San Jose has kind of made me put them on their on my bad list of teams I don't like anymore. But yeah, I'm going to take Minnesota. Calgary's in Dallas. Calgary's been playing pretty good as of late too. So is Dallas. I'm going to take Calgary. Islanders are in Arizona to take on the Coyotes. Should be a fun one down in the desert. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Arizona. Even without Antti Raanta. You know, it's funny. You know, you start talking to different people on Twitter and, you know, just having a lot of fun with conversations, this and that. Arizona fans are actually a lot of fun to talk to. I'll say that much. Winnipeg's in LA. Give me the Peg. From the simple standpoint of Connor Hellebuck is going to completely shut down the LA Kings tonight. And so on and so on. I mean, let's be honest. Kings have been so absolutely inconsistent this year. They'll have games where they play really good. And then they'll have games where they just don't. I feel like that's every team. Sorry to give you John Madden type, what do you call it? Perspectives and analysis. I don't know. But give me Winnipeg. St. Louis is in Edmonton tonight. Shout out to my friend Caleb, who is a big St. Louis Blues fan, and all my other Blues fan friends who honestly hate their team right now. I'm in the same boat. I understand. It's very frustrating. Connor McDavid just is that line of McDavid and Draisaitl are just really hard to stop these days. So we are going to go with Edmonton. If they could just get Cam Talbot to just make a few more saves, might be a little bit better. Tampa Bay is in Vancouver. You know who I'm taking. Give me Tampa Bay. The best so-called, what do you call it? The I can't think of it right now. Oh, the best regular season team ever. But they always choke in the playoffs. And the Blackhawks are at home to take on the Nashville Predators. The Predators have lost their last 7 on the road. 7 of 8 on the road. I believe their last road win was against the Blackhawks, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the Blackhawks are in the United Center tonight. 1-8-1 in their last 10. Cam Ward against UC Saros. It's gonna be one of those that I don't know what in the world's gonna happen. You look at the stat line, it's ugly per se. But I'm gonna go with my Hawks. All right. It's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna say Hawks 3-1. Hawks are gonna score 3. Nashville's only gonna score 1 tonight. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me, but it's all right. I mean, it would be nice. Would be nice to be, at 2-1-1 for what they've played for this year. It would be fantastic. All right, time to switch it over to the NFL for the last 8 minutes or so. Is there no Thursday night game this week? Apparently, I thought there was a Thursday night game. It's not. First game is on Saturday. Washington at Tennessee. Snooze Fest. Give me Tennessee. They're 10-point favorites, but we'll take Tennessee. I think Mariota is going to have a fantastic game. Sorry. Just talks about how boring some of these games are. Baltimore's in LA to take on the Chargers. I will be taking the Chargers. I mean, that's the thing, too, is like Phillip Rivers. I had no faith in him coming into the season. He played a lot better, I will say. Played a lot better. Kansas City's in Seattle. Now, this one's interesting because Seattle's been playing a little bit better. I'm still going to take Kansas City, though. They're a team that has the number 1 seed number 1 or number 2 seed, I think, locked up in the AFC for the playoff race. Have to wait and see what happens with that. Snooze Fest in Carolina. Atlanta's playing Carolina. Listen, until Cam Newton can figure things out with his shoulder, I don't think Carolina has a chance. You have Matt Ryan, who played very well last week. I'm going to take Atlanta. Battle of Ohio. Cincinnati versus Cleveland. I had to think about that for a second. Cleveland's 7-point favorites. I think it's amazing that even though it's week 16, so they need a win. And I forgot who they need. I think they need Jacksonville to tie week 17. Something like that. Something crazy. But I'm gonna take Cleveland. I'm high on Cleveland, America's team, right here. Cleveland Browns. Tampa Bay's in Dallas. Dallas playing a little bit better. They came off a terrible week last week against the Indianapolis Colts, in which they lost 23-0. Was it a one-off? It's going to remain to be seen. I'm going to take Dallas with Tampa Bay being eliminated. They don't have a lot to play for. Minnesota's in Detroit. Game's pretty much meaningless now that the Bears are NFC North champions. Thank you very much. If you're looking at a wild card spot, it is. I'm going to take Detroit. It's going to be a big pick here. Give me Detroit. I don't see it. I don't see Minnesota being that much of a threat anymore. Giants are in Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Give me the Colts. It's such a good week last week. I just don't know how you pick against them anymore. You know, Andrew Luck coming out having a great game. Just fantastic. Fantastic. All right. See what else we got here. Jacksonville is in Miami. Like I said, Miami needs to beat Jacksonville for Cleveland to still have a shot. So I'm going to take Miami. I'm all for the underdog in this situation. Cleveland Browns fans, they've suffered enough. Let's get it going. Buffalo's in New England. New England is a 13-point favorite, if you can believe that. All right, I think New England wins this game, but they won't cover the spread, so I'm taking the under on this one. I'm going to take the under. I would just go straight up if you're going to make a pick in this game and just take New England, who lost last week too. I mean, I never would have thought that Tom Brady loses, but okay. The Broken Rams are 14-point favorites over Arizona. Listen, I'm not sold on the Rams anymore. As certain people would like to joke and say that the Bears broke them, I think it's 100% true. So I'm not too keen on them anymore. I'm still going to take the Rams, but this is another one that I would take straight up because they're not going to cover the spread. A lot of people are going to cry when they bet a lot of money on the Rams to win by 14 or more and they don't cover the spread. Offense has only put up 13 to 15 points in the last two games. I don't know. Houston's in Philadelphia. Philadelphia coming off a huge win against the LA Rams. Will they win this week? No. I think Houston's got him on this one. Dr. J.J. Watt's got him too. Green Bay is in New York to take on the Jets. Yikes. Snoozer. Give me the Jets. I'm just going to take against the Packers just to irk Packer fans now. It's hilarious. Bears are in San Francisco. Even without Eddie Jackson, this team's going to win. Give me the Bears. Pittsburgh is in New Orleans to take on the Saints. We want Pittsburgh to win, and here's why. Because the Bears still want a shot at that number one seed. I think we can all agree on that it would be nice to see the Bears, arguably be somewhere they're not supposed to. And where they're supposed to per se. I'm not saying the Bears aren't good enough to be there, but, first-year head coach Matt Nagy, it could be a very humbling experience. So I would love to see the Bears get that number one or number two seed. So go Pittsburgh. And Monday Night Football, Denver versus Oakland. Yikes. On the 52nd day of Christmas, John Gruden gave to me a 6-year deal for Khalil Mack. I don't know. That was terrible. I'm sorry. That was weird. But anyways, those are my picks. Read them and weep. If you don't like it, too bad. So yeah, I just want to take this last couple minutes to basically wish everyone a happy New Year and a Merry Christmas and a happy holidays for maybe some of you who don't celebrate it. Still have a good and safe holiday couple weeks. Like I said, we're going to be thinking about doing some sort of podcast thing maybe next week and the week after. I'll announce it on Twitter at JDHicks88. Like I said, happy birthday to a wonderful mother who couldn't do anything without. It's just one of those things that it's fantastic. So like I said, I'll be at the Blackhawks game tonight. It should be interesting. It's one of those things that who knows? Hopefully the Blackhawks win. I really would love to see that. Maybe it's because it's Nashville. I don't know. A rival. I plan on getting very creative tonight with chants and signs too. I'm sorry. If there's any team that deserves the amount of hate they do, it's the Nashville Predators. And I'm not even trying to be a homer for the Blackhawks right now. I think I speak for every other fan of another team when I say that. So, with that being said, do me a favor. Have a safe holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And just enjoy yourselves. All right? That being said, I'm out of here. Stay tuned. Sean Lennon, the Fight Late Report. Most action-packed 2 hours, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Coming up next on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Have a great day, everybody.
Last time on the K-Tray Show.
What do you think was on JR's mind? And he knew what the question meant.
Oh, yeah.
He knew what the question meant. I can read his mind. You sitting up there with Charlie Brown's shorts on and a suit.
Listen to Kevin Tragoni and my new partner.
Is heavyweight champion of the world. You know who I am is Robert Reflex.
On the K-Tray Show every Monday night from 7 to 9 only on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
How's it going? My name is Edgar Ibarra, and I'm very grateful for all the knowledge I received at the Illinois Media School. My 15-year career in radio has been a dream come true. I'm a radio DJ, I'm on the air, and I get to be a program director for 2 radio stations in Wisconsin. My dream became a reality with the Illinois Media School. Illinois Media School is a great school with great teachers and former students now working in the industry today on the radio stations you listen to and on the TV stations you watch every day. Illinois Media School, check it out. For more details, beonair.com.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This is Jonathan Hood, instructor at the Illinois Media School.